Hello everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel. Today is FUNtastic Friday, and the fun fact question today comes from Tanya at Teddy Treasure, and hers wasn't really a question, but she's just said that she would love to hear about my journey or interest with the tarot, and that, my friends, is a long and winding road. um, so, uh, just to keep it very short, I grew up in a Christian household where I went to non-denominational Christian church. I loved it. I felt secure and loved and accepted right up until I became a teenager, and I wanted to try the Catholic church that was right across the street from our church. So I was 13 or 14 at the time, and I was curious. Half my friends were Catholics, and I had no idea what their church was like. And so either during Sunday school time or church service time at my church, I just decided to go across the street and check out the Catholic service. Didn't go with a friend, wasn't like forced to go. I just was curious. So I went, I took part. It was extremely formal, but also very ritualistic, which I found just extremely fascinating. And I wouldn't say that I was attracted to it at all. I mean, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it. It was so different from our non-denominational, our minister getting up and telling stories and anecdotes and, um, stories from the Bible, how they could be interpreted today, and all of that. I found that very interesting, and I enjoyed our minister's sermons, and I thought that was that until my mom got called in to the church office, and I think we both got called in. They wanted her to bring me along too, and without asking me any questions, without anything, they just started berating me. So they berated me for going to the Catholic Church. They were basically telling me, I mean, it was basically like, you were absent from our service. That is not acceptable. They just went on and on and on. And I'm just kind of sitting there, and my mom was like also baffled, and she's like, well, I support Tammy to go and ask questions and see other religions. I do not have any problems with that. Well, the church elders or whoever they were did have a problem with that, and that is when I was disillusioned by my church, and so I stopped going to church. So fast forward, my husband and I, we went a couple of times. He did not grow up in a Christian household. He was just totally agnostic. Um, but we went. We did some couples Bible study. Blah 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 blah. So just so much hypocrisy and double standard, and um, I had already witnessed it as a teenager, and so my husband witnessed it firsthand, and then we just gave up organized religion altogether. And then I got very interested in the earth, Mother Earth, and nature, and the power that nature had over my mood and just my feelings of pure joy and euphoria going out on a hike, or being around Puget Sound, or just any of those things. So I did research, got very interested in Wicca, did a little bit of, none of it felt super comfortable. I didn't really fall into any of it. Um, but I do consider myself an earth-based spiritual being. Like, when I say earth-based and spiritual, they seem like they contradict, but they really don't. I love the earth. I love Earth Mother. I love everything about nature, and I'm fascinated by so many things that are natural in this world. And so I'm very much drawn to that energy. And so, yeah, I kept reading, I kept learning. I am and always have been extremely drawn to rocks and crystals. I have a pretty extensive collection. I mean, right here, just on my art table, I have agates that I have found um, on Puget Sound. I have this is something that I purchased. This is another agate that I found on Puget Sound. I have crystals next to my bed. So I love. This is probably my first love, and I have some cleansing crystals and things that I use regularly, that I find very grounding. And then I wanted to get into tarot, and this was like at least maybe 30 years ago, maybe a little more. Um, I was fascinated by it, and so this was the first tarot deck I bought. I don't have a box for it. I don't have any directions for it. Um, I think it's called the Gilded Tarot. Um, and I just bought it right from like Barnes and Noble bookstore. You know, just took it home, opened it, and I didn't like a lot of the imagery at that time. Felt cringy to me. Um, and it was a little more masculine than I wanted. And so I honestly, I did not do anything with this deck. So this was the first deck. I keep it just because it was my first, and um, I don't know. And so I also found it extremely not intuitive, really, for me at that time. And so then I learned about oracle cards, and um, I really got into oracle cards. And one of my favorite decks is this goddess uh, guidance oracle cards. So the difference between oracle cards and tarot is that oracle cards to me are um, they're more open to interpretation based on what's going on in your life. So if I was to, and I use the goddess cards when I'm calling on goddess energy. So when I really want to maybe find an answer to something, or a clue, or a direction, um, I turn to my goddess oracle deck. And I find the oracle decks, I probably have 15 different oracle decks. I just pulled this goddess because I consider it my working deck that I'm just extremely drawn to, and it's always helped me. And so this is just how I do this. So I just I kind of focus, like I could say, what goddess energy am I needing today to guide me. And so this card just randomly came out. That to me is always a sign that this is the card that I need to see. This is the message. So then I turn it over, and I draw Bridget probably more than any other card in this deck, which I find fascinating. Um, don't back down. Stand up for what you believe is right. This is super appropriate for just the way I've been feeling lately. And I'm trying not to get upset and cry. So let's look this card up in the book. So Diana and Bridget are the two that I probably pull more than any other in this deck. You know, Diana is focused intention. Yes, that is a reminder that I almost always need. Bridget, don't back down. Various meanings of this card: be assertive, don't worry about what others think, trust your actions will work out fine, speak your truth, stick to your opinions, put your foot down. Yeah, very yeah, she's definitely one of my I consider one of my guides. I am also almost half Irish, so to have her being one of my one of my guides is extremely important. So yeah, this could not be any more better of an example of how I use the cards. And I did need to hear from Bridget today, and quite honestly, one of the things that I have trouble with is remembering self-care. And I do my nails weekly, or every other week, whatever. But part of my self-care is also working with my guides and my oracle cards and my tarot deck. And I have not worked with these in a number of months. And it actually shows inside. So I feel it inside when I don't use them. And that's kind of the reason I'm so emotional now, is because this is just exactly what I needed to hear right now. And I didn't really realize it until I pulled the card. So, yeah. And that's how these work. So, the other, so to kind of piggyback, and what a lot of people who read tarot and oracle cards do is they will pull 2 or 3 tarot cards, and then they'll pull an oracle card to, if they need more guidance or a more clearer message, or if they're not understanding. I do not need any more assistance to help me read the message of this card. I know what the message of this card is for me. So this so like I showed here, where'd the little book go? Oh, here it is. So this deck comes with this nice bound book. It's really nice, has good information. The tarot is, it's not as great, but yeah, this is the Goddess Tarot. I don't use this very often either. I'm finding that tarot decks are extremely personal, and unfortunately you need to work with them a little bit and get to know them before you can find one that really resonates. So while I have used this, and I will keep it in my collection, because there are times when I really, really, really want a ton of goddess energy, and I will call on this deck also. But I'm going to put this one away because at the moment it's not one that I'm working with. So that's that. Another oracle deck decks, I should say. So Doreen Virtue, who does this goddess guidance, she makes wonderful decks. She has a lot. I don't know that she would call herself a mystic, but she if you Google her, you know, she has a lot of mystic magic, you know, that kind of energy going on, and she has a lot to choose from, so you can check her out. So this is my Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. The artists here are Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz, and they created the deck and the meanings and all of that, and then it's illustrated by I think it's pronounced Gia Rose. Um, I bought the Yule deck, and I used the Yule deck from about the middle to end of November all the way through till February, and then the energy didn't quite feel right. So they are making um, an oracle deck for each like holiday of the holiday Sabbat, you know, whatever you call it, of the wheel of the year. So Beltane falls in is May 1st, and I had pre-ordered this deck. I got it. This is the first time I've actually opened it to look at it, but I love the art. I do like that they have a word and then just a little phrase on it. Some people don't like that. I do like that. But they also made this beautiful guidebook that's in color and beautiful. And I think some of these even come with meditations that you can use, card companions, just all different things. I really like the Yule one. I used every single day, like I said, from about the end of November all the way through February. They have one for Samhain, which is Halloween, and I will be purchasing that one and using that one. I'm guessing that I will probably use that from middle to end of September through probably mid-November until I switch over to the Yule deck. So and these are oracles. So these are basically they're one card pulls, and you know, you get a message and you interpret it. And if you're having trouble interpreting it, you can pull a second card, or you can go to another deck to help you know the meaning of the card that you pulled. So that's those. So the tarot that I've worked with the most, that I've been learning with, is called the White Sage Tarot, and this is the sweetest little deck. I love this deck. It is it's nurturing. It's sweet, it's nurturing, it feels comfortable, it feels you know, and you don't always necessarily need that, if that makes sense. But I find it to be a very good learning deck, and it's small, which I like. I like to be able to shuffle them well. But yeah, so I think they call this, I think this is, I'm not sure, a Pip deck, which means it's, there's not a lot of background things going on. This is the Six of Cups, and you can interpret the water or fluid or whatever is in here, pouring out, and you could come to some conclusion there, but mostly it's just whatever picture you see and then the description. So Five of Cups, this is kind of interesting. This has some yellow, so this I don't know the completely drawing a blank. this relates to the chakras, and I can't remember what yellow is, but that would be a meaning for this card. And then this is a cracked cup with 4 upside down cups. So this is probably some kind of challenge, or not necessarily heartbreak, but just going off of instinct. So let's go ahead and look this up. Yeah, loss and grief. So and so it's the 3rd chakra, the solar plexus, yellow light. So so yeah, so you can, so me not knowing, I did not know that this particular card meant that, loss and grief, but a lot of times from how they're portrayed on the card, you and you should use your instinct first to kind of think what this card might mean. I don't know, I just find it, I don't know if I've really, I think I've answered your question. I came through to tarot and oracle decks and divination, and healing with crystals and those kinds of things, just based off my need for learning about the energy of the earth and utilizing that energy, which to me is no different than God. It's no, meditating outside in the grass with your back up against the tree is exactly like praying to me. It's very, I feel like religion and spirit, well, not necessarily religion, because that is definitely, religion definitely has rules, but spirituality is completely different, and you can be extremely spiritual and extremely connected to the energy around you, and the wonder that is this beautiful planet that we live on, without being religious. That is my firm, solid belief. And yeah, and so I am very drawn to utilizing that energy and the energy that's around me to get messages from these tools that I have. And that, my dear friend Tanya, is how I came to be so interested in the tarot. I am still learning. I am a complete beginner when it comes to this, and I will start hopefully this Tuesday. No, I'm going to commit this Tuesday coming up, which will be the 20th of July. I will do a Tarot Tuesday, and I will keep doing them. I have to keep telling myself that I do this for my self-care, and I have been ignoring my self-care the past few weeks, and it's taking a toll on me. So yeah, so that is where I'm at. This was a lot of talking, and I hope that you learned something new, Tanya. And if anyone has any question for me at all, I would love to answer it on a future FUNtastic Friday, Fun Fact Friday. I don't have any more questions in the wings, so if someone has something for me, I would love for you to ask, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching, and be good to each other. Bye.